So I know I do a lot of these videos, but I really enjoy Dead by Daylight. Plus, we just had the announcement of Springtrap, who, even though I'm not a big fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, I think everyone was, and their mother was pleading for Springtrap to be in Dead by Daylight. And I will admit it is cool to have Matthew Lillard play the character of William Afton voice him and do like the face for the character. So that's cool. So I'm going to do a list of 12 characters instead of 10, because we're going to go 2 steps higher this time around, for characters I still want to see in the game of Dead by Daylight. And now that we're getting like characters from like Dungeons and Dragons and other stuff, this list is going to be a little weird. So hold on to your, as in the classic words, hold on to your butts. So, as always, this is not a top 12 list. This is just 12 characters. Plus, I'm always excited to see what 12 characters you would want to see in Dead by Daylight. I will tell you right now, Candyman is not here. Reason being, we lost our chance to have Tony to play the character or have the character in here, because if Tony's not around, there's no point of having him. Like, there is literally no point of having Candyman without Tony Todd. It's kind of like now why I don't want him now in Mortal Kombat, because it's like it'd be a disservice to have him, and it'd be a disservice to have the character not voiced by the actor. But we're going to start off with 2 characters that are most likely going to be in the game. So let's kick things off. First, my first pick is Art the Clown. Yeah, I think everyone agrees that Art is probably coming to be the next guest killer in the game. I think we can all agree that he is probably going to be next. His promotion for Dead by, not only for Dead by Daylight, obviously, but also Terrifier 4, which is coming out next year. I would be shocked if he doesn't show up. I'm convinced he's probably going to show up later this year or early next year in promotion for Terrifier 4. That is my whole thought, is that Art is coming. I think Art the Clown is coming to this. Also, it is fun to have this because, I'm doing this list when I got my new phone case. Horror, see? Oh, yeah. And yes, I am looking at the list because I'd forget. So Art the Clown makes again, he's one of the most, it's so obvious that he needs to be in this game. Next up, we have the second character who did have a game like this, but is gone, and he's making a comeback. Jason Voorhees. Now that Friday the 13th game is gone, and Jason's slowly making a comeback with Crystal Lake and the Jason universe, whatever the hell that thing is going to be with Cunningham and whatnot, Jason can now finally be in Dead by Daylight. The reason being was because he already had a game, and they weren't letting him in there, because, again, that'd be just it's competition. Now that the game is shut down, sadly, Jason can now be finally in Dead by Daylight. And now that the rights are... And the other thing that was keeping him out of Dead by Daylight was, again, the rights. But now that the rights are seemingly fixed up, we can finally have Jason show up. And again, I think it's been a long overdue. He's been one of the most requested characters. But again, rights, other game, that was preventing him. So here he can finally be here. You can finally wield his machete and just flat out murder people. I personally, if you were to do his Morte, I would love to do that. You got to do the head crush. Like, gut him and then do the head crush. I still am mad at Mortal Kombat for never doing that as the finisher. From the head crush, of course, from Friday 3. Anyway, next up for my pick is the Leprechaun. I know, Leprechaun's small, but Chucky and Tiffany were made part of the game. So now we can find, there's no excuse now not to have the Leprechaun. Plus, we could probably get Warwick Davis to voice the character. Although it doesn't seem like he's that interested in playing him again. So maybe as a good alternate, maybe we could get... I can't remember the actor's name, but he was really good in Leprechaun Returns. So maybe get the actor who played the Leprechaun in that movie. As long as it's not Hornswoggle. From Leprechaun Origins. All he did was roar and shit. But hey, if we could get Brad Dourif and... oh god, what's the actress who played Tiffany's name? Who played Tiffany? Them to voice the characters. I don't see why, Warwick Davis can't come back to at least do voice lines for the Leprechaun. Come on, man. And again, it's like now we know that like size is no longer an issue. So next up for my pick is the Miner from My Bloody Valentine. And we're going with a deep cut character who's been getting a lot of love. I think he would be a solid character to use. You could definitely use like the pickaxe. Use like maybe like the screwdriver kill. That'd be a cool one because that was edited out of the original movie. I think he would be a lot of fun. Again, he's more of a deeper cut character, but I think it would still be. I think there's still like a cult favorite enough to make him interesting enough to want to be part of the game. Now, the next character is going to be fascinating because it's going to be this character, but not the way you remember him. And that is the Wolfman from, of course, Universal Monsters. Specifically, though, I'm using the version from Dark Universe, from the Frankenstein Experiment ride. The reason being is because I think it would be great synergy for, Epic Universe, plus, to get some rep from the classic monsters. And the reason why I wanted to use Wolfman is because, well, again, synergy. You just had a movie, albeit not a great one. You not only had that, but also, I think, like, the other monsters are cool, but I think with Wolfman, you could do, like, a scent move, like, you'd use, like, a move to follow a character's scent. You could do... use the claws as a weapon, or even use, like, the wolf bite as, like, an infection on survivors. I think that'd be neat. And again, using this version to, like, again, promote Dark Universe and Epic Universe as a whole. The reason why I didn't go with, like, Dracula or some other monsters was because Dracula's already in the game, albeit Castlevania. I think it'd be just kind of redundant to have... There'd be a bit of redundancy to have two Draculas in here, so... I'm just kind of the mindset of, we already have a Dracula, so let's just pick Wolfman would be really cool to use, like, scents and whatnot. And again, it's a very brutal character on a whole. Yeah. Next up is one I've been screaming from the rooftops that I've wanted for the longest time, and that is Pumpkinhead from, of course, Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead would be so much fun. Like, he's just a big, tanky character, excuse me, could definitely, like, just come at you like a nightmare. I could see it, like, whenever he kills someone or brings them down or does the morte, he just goes... Because he can laugh, or, he can talk in some capacity, but it's more like this hissing, like, laugh. Like a demonic Muttley from Dastardly and Muttley. So, yeah, he's big. You could also use the tail, like the Xenomorph, and use that in your moves. Would he look too close to the Xenomorph? Maybe, but he wouldn't be I wouldn't make him as agile as the Xenomorph. Definitely, like I said, give him a more tanky feel. Next up, Kayako. We just had Sayako show up in a long while ago, I should say, from the original Ring. So, yeah, let's get the second biggest J-horror film character here, Kayako, from The Grudge. Kayako would be really neat. Again, you could use the hair to grab someone, pull them in, but also you get the addition of maybe you could summon Kayako's son to attack survivors. I think that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, so Kayako, I was like waiting for Kayako after we got Sadako. Anyway, now we're going into the little more stranger outside movies characters. Starting off with a Big Daddy from BioShock. Big Daddies are specifically like a horrible, monstrous character, and I think it would be a lot of fun. You could still do like dialogue with them. You could use the drill as the weapon, but you would have a little sister on the Big Daddy's shoulder, and they would talk and be like, "Look, Mr. Bubbles, look how they bleed," or something like that. Even use the little sister, like collecting the blood or the DNA of your victim as you're doing the morte. That'd be fun. Next up, Alice Angel from Bendy and the Ink Machine. Why not Bendy, the Ink Demon himself? It'd be like, I feel like we need some more female killers in the game, and also Alice is just straight up terrifying. And also it would be really fun because she's prone to using a lot more traps. Plus, I think like it would be great to have some dialogue there. So Alice Angel was another pick of mine. Yeah, I think Bendy would... don't get me wrong. Bendy would... I would also be totally fine with the Ink Demon Bendy, but I think, like, Alice would give a little more variety in her kills and how she plays. Next up is one that's not really horror at all, The Witch King of Angmar from Lord of the Rings. I was thinking just a typical Nazgul, but I was like, nah, I think it'd be really cool if like you could use the black speech as a weapon just to like paralyze your victims. That would be a fun idea. I also would love to see like maybe for the Morte he summons the dragon down just to eat the guy. Be neat. Yeah, so the witch again, it's not that is not typically horror, but I think it would be like again, Castlevania, while it is a horror game, and we've had Dungeons and Dragons, which does have horror elements. So yeah, the Witch King is more horror close. So yeah, that's why I was kind of leaning towards the Witch King of Angmar. Next up, Queek Headtaker from Warhammer Fantasy. This one was kind of hard because I wanted a Warhammer character in here, and I was almost going to go with Fabius Bile, but I thought Queek Headtaker, the Skaven themselves are just terrifying. Also to hear that little rat crack addict just going around like, no one kill more than Mimi, only me kill Mimi more than Mimi. Just running around, chopping people, decapitating them. Like the Morte just decapitates them and then like laughs and puts the skull on or the head on his rack, his back rack. That'd be fun. I also think like another move you could do with the character is that he could tunnel underground, like using nard holes, kind of like the Xenomorph uses vents to move. That'd be a fun idea. And finally, for my 12th pick is Junko Enoshima from Danganronpa, anime/video game. I think Danganronpa, using her would be a lot of fun. Just completely psychotic, laughing at all this. And her Morte, she starts off by going, "It's punishment time!" And then you could use like one of the punishments from the game, from her game, to kill someone. Also, I think it'd be fun to like use a Monokuma and use them like running bombs. Like she puts a Monokuma down and it runs and just grabs someone and blows themselves up with them. That's just an idea. So there you go, guys. Those are 12 killers I'd love to see in Dead by Daylight. You guys tell me in the comments below what are 12 killers you would pick and where from. And who would you have in Dead by Daylight? What is your and like I said, I love to revisit this sometimes, so maybe I'll come back with another one in the near future. I always do. Like a certain character once said, I always come back. But anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.